Hey Pam, how are you doing today?
Hey Nisa, I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited to talk about this article on CoinDesk talking about Bitcoin firms that report an uptick in demand for inheritance services. Not a topic we really want to talk about what happens to your crypto when you die, but given that we're in a pandemic, we just hit 50,000 deaths in the US, probably should talk about it.
Mhm.
Um, and there was an instance, I think it was the Quadringa Exchange CEO who passed away a few months ago. And a lot of exchange customers were very upset that they lost money, and they, I think, tried to get him out of the ground after he was buried. And like, it was a disaster.
Wait, why did they try to do that to make sure he was dead?
Or to make sure that, yeah, that the private keys weren't buried with him.
Oh, like a document with the private keys to
Yeah, yeah.
this.
Uh,
Wow.
so yeah, it's crazy, right? So, well, these two, there's Casa and Unchained Capital, both say they have seen a dramatic rise in requests for proof of death, or similar multi-signature wallet schemes that enable your Bitcoin to be transferred to a loved one following your death.
Yeah, because once somebody passes and if nobody else has their private keys, those that crypto is just gone forever, right?
Right.
Essentially. Can you explain some of the tech behind that? For example, it's still possible to hack some crypto exchanges, right? But that's kind of the exchange as a whole and not individual keys. Is that correct?
There are exchanges that have been centralized, that have been hacked in the centralized server, and people lost a lot of money. But also, like, people who don't custody their coins on an exchange, or they use self-custody, they just hold their private keys themselves. That's where something like Casa comes in, because they service the clients that self-custody, and they provide like a multi-signature requirement and location in order for you to even access your crypto.
Mm-hmm. Did you read Bitcoin Billionaires, Nisa?
Yes.
And do you remember that section where they talk about the Winklevoss twins kind of flying all over? I don't remember if it was the country or the world and just putting, like, depositing different components of their private keys in different banks, which is really wild. I can't wait till they make a movie about that, because just that scene alone, just that aspect alone is worthy of a movie.
Right. I
It's
think they
really,
are making a movie.
oh, they are.
I think so.
Yeah, that's, I mean, they should. I mean, they were already portrayed in The Social Network. So
Yeah, if Hollywood ever opens again.
that's true. That's true. They're gonna have to figure out a socially distanced way to portray that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so far it seems many people, not everybody, are pretty careful about holding their private keys somewhere very secure and safe, so that they don't have to necessarily memorize it. But now it seems like the next step in it's really interesting, because let's say somebody does write in their will who they're leaving their private keys to, and then where to find the private keys. And there's no guarantee that that person is interested in crypto. We're not at that level of adoption yet. So even if somebody inherits somebody else's keys, like, if they don't care enough, I mean, really every person in that chain has to be equally, like, emotionally invested in crypto in order, or essentially all of that crypto becomes useless over time.
Right. Exactly.
Um,
So I guess people are putting it in their wills now.
is
That
it
they,
just in their regular will they're including it? Is that what they're doing?
well, they won't put the private key in there, but they'll say my crypto goes to this relative, or yeah.
Quick question, Lisa, do you have your private keys memorized?
No, I have
Mhm.
them written down
Me
in a
too.
safe place.
Yeah, I do too. And I gave a copy to a family member who has no earthly idea what she was just like, okay. And she has no idea what, I mean, she knows what it is, but not really like what that means.
Right.
So, but I think I do want to memorize mine. And yeah, it's something interesting to consider. It's not like fiat money. It's not paper money. Even digital money, in the sense of money that's in a bank account. I assume, I don't know, but when you pass, the bank can do something with that money still, right? As long as there's proof of death or the next of kin. But
Right.
um,
As instructed in your will.
yeah, the article does say, if Bitcoin is to be money, it needs infrastructure to handle assets when life's prevailing circumstances alter one's plans. So infrastructure, yes. Do you think it should be up to the exchanges to incorporate that infrastructure, or is it something that can be solved with education and making sure people who are new to the space, as they're onboarding into the space, they are aware that it's slightly different from fiat money and that they should take precautions. Because people, Bitcoin and crypto is pretty decentralized. People that gravitate towards it are really all about self-sovereignty, and adding one other layer of this is what you should do, even if it's for the best of somebody's crypto. What do you think about that?
I think that's what Casa is trying to fill here. They're trying to offer this service that makes it turnkey for customers to just, you sign up for the diamond plan or whatever it is, and you don't have to worry what happens to it when you die. They take care of it. I don't know if exchanges are offering that kind of service yet, but it's not just Bitcoin. They say it's Ethereum.
Right.
And I think there's a real market for it, though. And we've seen, I guess, the first 3 weeks of March, they had 3 times as many inquiries into that product.
That's so funny. People, we're in a pandemic, and
right.
Really, I think it's interesting. I didn't even think about my crypto in all of this. Did you?
No.
Have the thought of, let me make sure that something that should happen to me and I get coronavirus, let me make sure somebody has access to my crypto.
Right, exactly. It's like on the list of priorities, that's one of the lower ones. But I guess if you have a lot of it, and some of Casa's clients do, then that's probably one of the first thoughts in their mind. Is there?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I am laughing, but I understand the need to do it completely, and it reminds me that I should, at the very least, find my private key and maybe try to memorize it.
Well, tell us what you think. What would you do? Are you planning anything in terms of your crypto holdings? Or do you think it should be handled by firms like Casa or another entity?